You've been misled about exercise your entire life. Every doctor, every fitness magazine, every well-meaning family member has repeated the same advice. Walk more. Hit your steps. 10,000 steps a day will keep you healthy. But here's what almost no one tells you. A groundbreaking University of Missouri study published in 2023 revealed something that stunned the medical world. Adults over 60 who performed targeted seated exercises showed 27% greater gains in functional strength than those who only walked. 27%. That isn't minor. That's the difference between lifting your grandchildren and struggling to rise from a chair. The walking industry doesn't want this discussed. Shoe brands, fitness trackers, treadmill companies, they've built a billion-dollar system around the belief that walking is the gold standard for seniors. Yet orthopedic surgeons have quietly known the reality for decades. Walking is excellent for your heart, but it barely touches the muscle loss that accelerates after age 60. This loss is called sarcopenia, and it quietly strips away about 3 to 5% of your muscle every decade after 30. By age 70, up to 30% of your strength may already be gone. Walking won't stop it. These 5 chair exercises can. A 2022 Harvard Medical School study tracked over 2,000 seniors for 18 months. Those who performed seated resistance movements gained muscle. The walking group lost it. Same ages, same health profiles, completely different outcomes. And here's the most surprising part. The number one exercise on this list, revealed at the end, increased bone density by 19% in adults over 65. Surgeons are now prescribing this exact movement after hip replacements because it outperforms traditional physical therapy. Before we begin, tell us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single one. Now, without any further delay, let's begin with number 5. And this one surprises almost everyone. Number 5. Seated calf raises. We're starting with the exercise most people completely overlook, and that oversight is quietly costing them their independence. Seated calf raises sound almost too simple. You sit in a chair and lift your heels off the floor. How hard could that be? But this small movement targets one of the most underestimated muscle groups in your entire lower body. Your calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus, power what's known as the venous pump. Every time these muscles contract, they squeeze the veins in your lower legs and push blood back up toward your heart. This matters because blood has to fight gravity to travel from your feet upward. When calf muscles are weak, blood begins to pool in the lower legs. That pooling leads to swelling, varicose veins, heavy legs, and a sharply increased risk of dangerous blood clots. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology followed 140 seniors with mild circulation issues. Half performed seated calf raises 3 times per week. The other half made no changes. After just 12 weeks, the exercise group showed a 41% improvement in venous return efficiency. Their ankles were less swollen, their legs felt lighter, and most importantly, their risk markers for deep vein thrombosis dropped significantly. Yes, walking does activate your calves, but not in this focused way. When you walk, hundreds of muscles share the workload. When you perform seated calf raises, you isolate these critical pumping muscles and force them to work exactly where they're needed most. Here's how to do it correctly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Your knees should be bent at about 90 degrees. Press through the balls of your feet and lift your heels as high as you can. Hold the top position for a full 2 seconds. You should feel a strong squeeze in the back of your lower legs. Then slowly lower your heels back down. That slow lowering is essential. It creates an eccentric contraction, which builds muscle more effectively than lifting alone. If you're new to exercise, start with 15 repetitions. Gradually work up to 3 sets of 25. When that becomes easy, place a heavy book or small weight across your thighs to add resistance. That extra load will speed up your strength gains. Surgeons especially love this movement because it's safe even for people with hip or knee issues. There's no joint stress. All the work happens at the ankles and calves. Perform this exercise every day, ideally once in the morning and once in the evening, and notice how much better your legs feel in as little as 2 weeks. Now, let's move on to an exercise that tackles a completely different problem. And before we continue, if you've been getting value from this video, tap the like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We share powerful senior health tips every day, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's move to number 4. And this one targets the muscle that decides whether you stay independent or start relying on help. Number 4. Seated knee extensions. This exercise goes straight after the muscle that determines whether you can climb stairs, get out of a car, or stand up from a toilet without assistance. Your quadriceps, the large muscles on the front of your thighs, are the primary drivers of all these daily movements, and they break down faster than almost any other muscle group as you age. Research from the University of Vermont, published in 2020, revealed that adults over 60 lose quadriceps strength at nearly twice the rate of younger adults. The study followed 400 participants over 5 years and found that those who didn't perform targeted leg exercises lost an average of 16% of their thigh muscle mass. Meanwhile, the group that performed seated knee extensions just 3 times per week actually gained 4%. That's a 20% difference in outcome from one simple movement. Here's why walking fails to protect your quadriceps. When you walk on flat ground, your quads barely switch on. They activate slightly as your leg swings forward, but they never work against real resistance, and your body only keeps what it's forced to use. If your quadriceps are never challenged, they shrink. Seated knee extensions change that. They force your quads to lift your entire lower leg against gravity, sending the exact signal your muscles need to grow stronger. To perform this exercise properly, sit tall in a sturdy chair with your back pressed firmly against the backrest. Grip the sides of the seat for stability. Now extend one leg straight out in front of you until your knee is fully locked. Your toes should point toward the ceiling. Hold this position for 3 full seconds while squeezing your thigh as hard as possible. You should feel a deep burn in the front of your leg. Then slowly lower your foot back to the floor over a 4-second count. Switch legs and repeat. Aim for 12 repetitions per leg. Rest for 30 seconds, then complete 2 more sets. The secret to results is the squeeze at the top. Don't just lift your leg and let it hang. Actively contract your quadriceps, as if you're trying to make the muscle push against your skin. That mind-muscle connection dramatically increases activation. A 2023 study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that participants who consciously squeezed their muscles during exercises gained 31% more strength than those who simply went through the motions. Once bodyweight knee extensions feel easy, add resistance using ankle weights or a resistance band around your ankles. Start with just 2 pounds and increase gradually over time. Orthopedic surgeons recommend this exercise to everyone over 60 because strong quadriceps protect your knees from arthritic progression. The muscle acts like a natural shock absorber, reducing joint stress with every step you take. And the next exercise may surprise you, because it targets a muscle most people don't even realize they're losing. Now we move to number 3, and this one targets the hidden muscles that control how you walk. Number 3. Seated hip marches. Your hip flexor muscles are the silent controllers of your mobility. These muscles, primarily the iliopsoas and rectus femoris, lift your thigh toward your chest every single time you take a step. When they weaken, your gait changes. You stop stepping and start shuffling. Your feet barely clear the ground. This is why so many seniors trip over what looks like nothing at all. Their hip flexors are no longer strong enough to lift their legs properly. A landmark Mayo Clinic study published in 2022 analyzed the gait patterns of 800 adults aged 60 to 85. The researchers found that hip flexor weakness was the strongest single predictor of fall risk. Participants with the weakest hip flexors were 4 times more likely to experience a fall within the following year. 4 times. Falls are not small setbacks for seniors. They are life-altering events. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls every year, and 20% of those falls result in serious injuries, such as broken bones or head trauma. Hip fractures are especially devastating because they often trigger a downward spiral in health. Nearly 30% of seniors who fracture a hip die within 1 year. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to motivate you to act while you still can. Seated hip marches directly strengthen the muscles that prevent falls. This movement mimics walking, but with far more control and resistance. You are training your hip flexors to lift your legs higher and with more power than they ever would during a casual walk. Here's how to perform it correctly. Sit on the front half of your chair. Do not lean back against the backrest. Keep your spine tall and your core gently engaged. Now lift your right knee toward your chest as high as is comfortable. Your foot should fully leave the floor. Hold the top position for 2 seconds, feeling the work deep in the front of your hip. Then slowly lower your foot back down and repeat with your left leg. That counts as 1 repetition. The slower you move, the more effective this exercise becomes. Do not swing your legs using momentum. Lift them with pure muscular effort. Aim for 20 total repetitions, alternating legs each time. Complete 3 sets, resting 1 minute between sets. To make the exercise harder, increase the top hold to 5 seconds. You can also add ankle weights once the movement becomes easy. Surgeons have observed that patients who perform hip marches daily before joint replacement surgery recover significantly faster afterward. Their muscles are already strong and responsive, making rehabilitation smoother and shorter. This exercise also improves balance by forcing your core to stabilize your body while one leg is lifted. Now we're moving into the exercises that orthopedic surgeons consider essential for independent living. Now we arrive at number 2, and this one restores the strength that holds your body upright. Number 2, seated rows with a resistance band. Nearly everything you do in daily life depends on pulling strength. Opening doors, getting out of bed, pulling on clothes, carrying groceries, even hugging your family. All of these movements rely on the muscles of your back, specifically the latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, and rear deltoids. These are the muscles that prevent the rounded, hunched posture so common in older adults. When your back muscles weaken, gravity starts to win. Your shoulders roll forward. Your upper spine curves into what doctors call kyphosis. This isn't just a posture issue. It compresses your lungs, making breathing harder. It shifts your center of gravity forward, increasing your risk of falling. It also causes chronic neck and shoulder pain as your head juts forward, overloading the muscles that are supposed to support it. Walking does absolutely nothing for these muscles. When you walk, your arms swing passively at your sides. There's no pulling, no resistance, no strengthening. This is why so many dedicated walkers still develop poor posture. Their entire posterior chain has been neglected. A 2021 study published in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation followed 300 seniors through a 6-month exercise program. One group focused solely on walking. The other performed seated rowing movements with resistance bands. By the end of the study, the rowing group improved their spinal posture by an average of 8 degrees. The walking group showed no change. Even more striking, the rowing group reported 63% less upper back and neck pain. To perform seated rows, you'll need a resistance band. These inexpensive tools are ideal for seniors because they're gentle on joints while still building real strength. Sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Loop the band around the soles of your feet and hold one end in each hand. Sit tall with your arms extended forward, keeping light tension in the band. Now pull your elbows back, squeezing your shoulder blades together as if you're trying to pinch a pencil between them. Your hands should move toward your ribcage. Hold this squeezed position for 2 seconds, focusing on the muscles between your shoulder blades. Then slowly extend your arms forward again. Don't let the band snap back. Control the return. Perform 15 repetitions per set and complete 3 sets. The resistance level matters. You should finish all 15 reps, but the last 3 should feel challenging. If it feels too easy, use a thicker band or double your band for more tension. Surgeons frequently prescribe this exercise to patients recovering from spinal procedures because it builds the muscular support that protects your spine. Strong back muscles act like guide wires on a tent, holding your spine in proper alignment and slowing degeneration. And now, we come to the most important exercise of all, the one surgeons are prescribing more than any other. Now we reach number 1, the most important movement on this entire list. Number 1. Sit-to-stand squats. If you only perform one exercise for the rest of your life, this should be it. The sit-to-stand squat isn't just an exercise. It's a diagnostic marker of longevity. Researchers have found that your ability to perform this movement is a powerful predictor of your risk of death. A landmark study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed more than 2,000 adults over the age of 51 for an average of 6 years. Those who could not rise from a seated position without using their hands were 5 to 6 times more likely to die during the study period. 5 to 6 times. The sit-to-stand movement activates nearly every major muscle group in your lower body at once. Your quadriceps straighten your knees, your glutes extend your hips, your calves stabilize your ankles, your core maintains balance, your back keeps your spine aligned. No other exercise delivers this level of total body activation in one simple movement. What makes this exercise even more powerful is that it directly mirrors real life. Every time you get out of bed, stand from a chair, exit a car, or use the bathroom, you're performing a sit-to-stand. By training this pattern, you're not building abstract strength. You're building functional strength that immediately improves how you move every single day. The 2023 study referenced earlier in this video found that adults over 65 who performed sit-to-stand exercises 3 times per week increased bone density by 19% in their hips and femurs. That's extraordinary, because bone density normally declines with age. The mechanical load of standing up sends a signal to your bones to lay down new tissue. Stronger bones mean a dramatically lower fracture risk if a fall ever occurs. Orthopedic surgeons are now prescribing this exercise as preventive medicine. They know patients with strong legs and dense bones recover far better from joint replacement surgery. Some surgeons even require patients to demonstrate a minimum number of sit-to-stands before scheduling elective procedures. To perform this exercise correctly, start seated in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, slightly wider than hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest to prevent using your hands. Lean forward slightly so your weight shifts over your feet. Now stand up by pushing through your heels. Rise until your hips and knees are fully extended. Pause at the top for 1 second, then lower yourself back down slowly over a 4-second count. Gently touch the chair with your hips, but don't fully relax. Immediately begin the next repetition. The slow descent is critical. This eccentric phase is where most of the strength gains occur. If you drop back into the chair, you lose half the benefit. Begin with 10 repetitions if you're new. Progress to 3 sets of 15. When that becomes manageable, hold a light weight against your chest, such as a gallon jug of water, to increase resistance. You can also slow the lowering phase to 6 or even 8 seconds to make the exercise harder without adding weight. Perform sit-to-stand squats every other day to allow proper recovery. Within 4 weeks, daily life will feel noticeably easier. Stairs won't leave you breathless. Low chairs won't feel intimidating. You'll move through your day with a level of confidence and control you may not have felt in years. As we wrap up, these 5 exercises represent exactly what orthopedic surgeons wish every patient over 60 would practice consistently. Walking absolutely has its place. Cardiovascular health matters. But if your goal is to stay independent, reduce fall risk, protect your bones, and keep your muscles strong enough to truly enjoy life, walking alone is not enough. You need targeted resistance training. The evidence is no longer debatable. Research across multiple institutions points to the same conclusion. The medical community has reached a clear consensus. Seated resistance exercises deliver far better results for functional strength than walking by itself. And here's the good news. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to be athletic. All you need is a sturdy chair, maybe a resistance band, and about 15 minutes, 3 times per week. That small commitment can add years of independent, active living to your life. Start today with exercise number 5. Focus on it for the next week. Once it feels comfortable, add number 4. Move through the list at your own pace. By the time you reach the sit-to-stand squats, your body will be prepared, stronger, and more confident. Your future self will thank you for the strength you begin building today. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 chair exercises are you most excited to try first? And have you ever been told that walking is the only exercise you need after 60? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We read them all. Thanks for watching.